All right, folks, still at the Aoshima booth, checking out some of their new 1/700th Waterline series kits. Their latest announcement is this right here. It's the JMSDF, the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force helicopter destroyer Hyuga. Now, it's called a helicopter destroyer. Doesn't mean it destroys helicopters, of course. It's a destroyer that carries helicopters, as you can see here. A lot of detail. It's got even hangar deck detail. Lots and lots of nice parts here. There will also be a separate photo-etched part set that will be available separately, of course. Doesn't come with the kit. Still at the Aoshima booth, checking out their new entries in the 1/350th scale ironclad ship series of Imperial Japanese Navy boats. On the left here, we have the Tama, the light cruiser Tama, which can be built either in its 1942 configuration or its 1944 configuration. Extremely great detail there. There will, of course, be separately available photo-etched metal detail parts. And coming down here a little bit is the heavy cruiser Haguro. Haguro is the name of this one. Took me a minute there to recognize the kanji. Also in 1/350th scale, and again, fabulous detail for this Myoko class heavy cruiser. Now, the Haguro will be coming out in July. And it'll also have some separate photo etch part sets. Yep, so the Haguro is coming out in July, and the Tama will be available in June. So two new great entries in the 1/350th Ironclad series from Aoshima.
Hi everybody, we're still at the Aoshima booth and we're standing in front of their display of their upcoming brand new original model Lamborghini Countach. Countach. There we go. Countach, actually I'll admit, I had to look that up in Wikipedia to figure out how to pronounce that because there's theories there. But according to Wikipedia, it's Countach, and what a Countach is nothing. It's an expression that Italian men in a regional area of Italy say upon seeing a beautiful woman. Now, take a look at the styling of this car. Back and take yourself, if you can, back to 1974, because in that day nobody had ever seen a car with a nose like this, or a car with a tail end like this, or those crazy scissor doors that they put on this thing. So when people first saw this car, there was bound to be a lot of exclamation, and from that perspective, that Countach name actually is probably pretty good. You know, the interesting thing is when you get right down to it, while the Countach was a great performer, it wasn't all that great. It only had a 4-liter engine, and a few cars in later models from Lamborghini and other manufacturers actually kind of beat it quite handily for outright performance. But boy, this was one of the cars that really ignited the fire under the supercar boom in the 1970s. And if you have any interest in modeling or that era of supercar history, you got to have one of the original Countaches in your collection, and we think it's going to be a great seller for Aoshima. At the Aoshima booth, we've discovered a somewhat off-color offering that's going to be coming out in June from Aoshima, and that's the Hayabusa, also known as the Muses C, which, although it looks kind of like a satellite, is not a satellite at all. This is an asteroid exploration craft. This was launched in 4 years ago by Japan. It traveled out to a small asteroid called Itokawa. It actually landed on the asteroid, picked up a small rock sample from the asteroid, and is bringing it back to Earth. And this spacecraft is supposed to return to Earth and drop off a small capsule containing the sample from the asteroid in June of 2010, so next month. Now, the interesting thing that's lending a little drama to this is the spacecraft had a malfunction right around the time that it was landing on the asteroid, and they have no way of confirming whether it actually was able to properly pick up a rock sample, but hopefully we'll know the answer to that question next month. But nonetheless, the name of Aoshima, the full name of the company is Aoshima Bunka Kyozai, which literally means cultural educational materials. And this is an offering that really seems to strike at the roots of the company's name. This is real science. We've got a lot of exciting science fiction, of course, offerings here at the show, but a great offering like this and a very timely one that's showing off what human beings can actually do in the realm of real science is actually quite nice to see.